Fox 61 News at 5 starts now.
A volunteer firefighter faces charges in connection to a violent sexual assault. The disturbing details from police.
And we're getting an up-close look at a plane water landing in New Haven, plus an update on the condition of that aircraft when it got pulled from the river.
And new laws for the new fiscal year. We're breaking down what you need to know about how you may be impacted.
And the Deep River community says enough is enough. An 11-year-old boy this week was pushed off his bike in what the family says was a racially motivated attack. Now at 5, the community is rallying against violence. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here at 5. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Carmen Chow. Tonight we are in a weather alert as we look to the 4th of July holiday weekend. Taking a look outside at our downtown Hartford camera, it looks like a nice day, but step outside and you certainly will feel the humidity and the stickiness. And then tomorrow we are expecting some storms.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with more on that. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, a stormy start to the holiday weekend, and really right around daybreak on Saturday, there could be a first round of showers and thunderstorms. The Storm Prediction Center saying, hey, keep an eye on this area, and that includes a big swath of the Northeast. And there is even a risk for severe weather down to the Connecticut shoreline as well. The greatest risk with any thunderstorms is going to be for some damaging wind gusts. There's also a chance for some large hail. But again, these will be scattered in nature, so not every town will get one. And there will be a couple of rounds that come through, one around daybreak in the morning and another one later in the afternoon and into the evening. It feels like 93 degrees right now in Hartford. I know you're not surprised. You've been out there today, but when you factor in the heat and the humidity, that's when you get the heat index, 93 for Chester and 89 in Waterbury. Actual temperatures are in the mid 80s to around 90, with the exception of Groton. Groton is nice and comfy with temperatures close to 80. It's still really humid there, though. Taking a look at the satellite and radar, we are quiet. There is a slight chance for an isolated shower as we head into this evening, but very slim. There's a better chance as we head through the overnight hours. So I took a couple stars off the outdoor dining forecast for tonight just because it's one of those days where you maybe want to just eat inside. We're seeing temperatures that are still in the 80s to around 90 degrees. Heading through the day tomorrow, again, it's not going to rain all day long. It's not a total washout. It's warm and humid, though. There'll be one round of showers and storms that comes through in the morning, a break in the action around midday, then another one in the afternoon into the evening. And again, some of those storms could be strong, so we'll be watching the radar really carefully. After we get through tomorrow, the humidity drops off for Sunday, and it looks beautiful. We're going to take a look at that, plus your 4th of July forecast coming up too.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Well, new at 5, a sexual assault victim fights off her attacker, who then apologizes for trying to rape her.
Fox 61's Matt Caron has the shocking story from outside of Litchfield Superior Court, where today the suspect was arraigned.
Well, this 6-page incident report has some graphic details. The suspect is 20-year-old Jason Heath, and his victim allegedly told police that Heath said as he was choking her, "I want to rape you," before suddenly apologizing. Shocking new details of a violent sexual assault in Norfolk.
So it is a secluded area.
20-year-old Jason Heath arrested. Fox 61 has confirmed he's a volunteer firefighter in Winsted.
I was very surprised. Jason was a member of the Winsted Fire Department for just over 2 years. He was always polite and respectful to myself and other members.
Heath lives here, about a 10-minute drive from Parker Hill Road in Norfolk, where his female victim was seen disoriented and bleeding at about 7 p.m. Thursday.
The victim did have injuries.
Heath gave state police a confession where, in his own words, he described how he kept driving by the victim, who was out for a routine neighborhood jog, staring at her, thinking she was attractive. Then Heath hid in the woods, laying behind a rock, striking as she passed, putting her in a chokehold and slamming her against the ground. Heath told police he didn't realize what he was doing and suddenly came to his senses, saying to his victim, quote, "I'm sorry, promise you won't report me." Heath faces a slew of charges ranging from sexual assault to strangulation and stalking. The female victim told police she started to think, quote, "I am going to die."
If you're ever going to go on a walk and you're going to do it in a rural, especially if it's in a rural area, just be aware of your surroundings. Try not to do it at night. If it is, make sure it's in a well-lit area. Make sure you have your cell phone on you. Let somebody know.
The victim is in stable condition. Heath's confession came only after he initially lied to both his mother and police about how he got his injuries, saying that he was the victim and that he was beat up at nearby Burr Pond. Heath is being held on $250,000 bond. Reporting outside Litchfield Superior Court, Matt Caron, Fox 61 News.
Well, happening today across our state, several new laws taking effect, ranging on issues like your paycheck and public health and safety.
Now let's start with one of the most talked about, the state's minimum wage. It's raising by $1 an hour up to $14 an hour, and Connecticut is now tied for the 6th highest rate in the country. It's part of a law passed in 2019 that will raise the minimum wage in increments over a 5-year period.
And as of this morning, our state's so-called safe harbor law went into effect. It will maintain abortion protections in our state and expand protections to those from out of state. The new law will protect medical providers and patients seeking abortion care here in Connecticut. The law also expands abortion access by expanding the type of practitioners eligible to perform certain services.
And starting today, Connecticut's police accountability regulations will also be expanding when it comes to body cameras. All sworn members of law enforcement and members of those units who perform police duties will be required to wear body cameras. It also requires each police unit to use dashboard cameras with a remote recorder in each patrol vehicle.
And starting today, the use of solitary confinement will be limited. The law codifies a previous executive order issued last year. Per the new law, a prisoner being held in a state facility can only be isolated in isolated confinement for a maximum of 15 consecutive days or 30 total days within a 60-day period.
Connecticut college athletes will be able to use their school's logo, mascots, and more to benefit off their name, image, and likeness. The state will make those changes official to NIL rules for Division I student athletes in our state. The modification was requested by UConn, which argued this change would align the state's policies with other states and help them recruit more student athletes. And plenty more you can check out and learn about when it comes to Connecticut's new laws. You can scan the QR code on your screen with your smartphone and tap on the link to download the free Fox 61 News app on your device. And you can also check out fox61.com to learn more. 1
week after the Supreme Court ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade, President Biden meets with 7 governors to map out how to best protect abortion access. Among those governors is Connecticut's Ned Lamont. A new poll shows 22% of adults call abortion rights one of the top 5 issues they want the government to work on, a number that's more than doubled since last December. President Biden says he's working to protect women's rights.
And I share the public outrage at this extremist court that's committed to moving America backwards with fewer rights, less autonomy, and politicians invading the most personal decisions that not only women, but we'll find if they expand on this decision, men as well.
Yesterday, President Biden backed a suspension of the filibuster, the 60-vote threshold to pass most legislation in the Senate to make it easier to codify abortion rights into federal law. But despite the president's position, Democrats are unlikely to muster enough support to scrap the filibuster.
If you're getting ready for a 4th of July road trip and need to get gas, here's a look at the average prices across Connecticut heading into the holiday weekend. According to AAA, a gallon of regular unleaded is $4.81, down 2 cents from yesterday and 9 cents from a week ago. If you use diesel, it's going to be a little more expensive today. The state's diesel tax goes up by 9 cents. That has not yet been reflected in AAA's gas survey, which has prices dropping to just under $6.07 a gallon. And if you're heading out of state, here's a look at the averages across New England. Connecticut remains the lowest statewide average in New England, but just 2 cents lower than the average in New Hampshire. New Jersey's average is 4 cents higher than ours, while New York and Pennsylvania's averages are 11 cents more than Connecticut.
For many, the holiday weekend started early. They got on their flights and hit the road this morning. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc caught up with travelers who are not letting high prices stop their stride.
New Englanders are on the move this holiday weekend, 2.7 million of them to be exact.
Massachusetts, Nantasket Beach.
North Carolina.
We are going to Busch Gardens. We're going to see our old neighbors.
AAA is expecting record numbers despite an increase in gas prices and other costs.
With those that have canceled travel plans over the course of the last 2 years, they are not letting anything get in their way this year.
And while some of those people will be flying to celebrate Independence Day over the holiday weekend, a lot of them, according to AAA, actually 90% will be taking to the roads.
It's a Pride card.
Oh, okay.
You get the Pride card and they give you 10 cents off. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything helps.
Art Nigro and so many others are doing what they can to save up, not letting costs control everything.
No, not because of the gas prices. No, I would spend the extra money to go see my family.
But that doesn't mean he's not getting a gut punch at the pump, saving in other ways.
I don't go to a lot of places I used to go. I used to just take rides up to New Hampshire for the weekend and stuff like that. We don't do that no more.
And travel troubles aren't exclusive to cars. We've all heard the headaches at airports, but that's not stopping anyone either.
Let's say everybody decides to stay home, right? So what will happen to the people who are employed in those kind of industries, the traveling industries? They'll suffer too. So you have to do what you can, right?
Taking risks to reap the rewards. In Windsor Locks, Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
Julia, thank you. A reminder ahead of the holiday weekend that state police will once again step up patrols around the state. Troopers will have extra patrols running through Monday the 4th. Last year, there were almost 5,400 calls for service over the holiday weekend. 26 people were arrested for DUI. 3 people died in crashes. State police remind drivers that obeying the rules of the road is everyone's responsibility. You're encouraged to buckle up, follow the speed limit, and put down your cell phone.